Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist, and I'm doing a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. This is video 155 and I haven't missed a day. Super fun. Thank you for being here. Every week I go to my chiropractor and he's like, "What number are you on?" And I'm like, 155. And he's like, "How many subs do you have?" And I'm like, 640. So fun. Thank you guys. This is just a blast. Blasty blast. So today, man, I had so many ideas today to talk about, and I think we're going to talk about how you need to stop trying to get things and already assume that you are it, that you have it already, or you are it already. So we're going to assume a new identity. So how do we do that? Well, there's a lot of techniques out there, as you've probably heard. There are a ton, and I can give you a ton. So, of course, being a therapist, over the years, it's been hard for me because I've learned about law of attraction and law of assumption. And then I have to be this, I always told my clients, I'm like, there's a clinical side of me and then there's a spiritual side of me. And the spiritual side of me is the side that I want to come out the most, but I have to stay very, clinical with clients. And I weave this stuff into sessions, but, it mostly has to stay pretty, evidence-based, as they call it. So, but when I do EMDR with clients, which is kind of a form of tapping in a way, EFT tapping, but I think it's more powerful. I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of EFT with people, but EMDR works so fast. So someday I would love to design my own EMDR program and just have some sort of membership that we create with EMDR. So I'm kind of working on that in the background too, because it's super helpful. But I'm trying to do it in an ethical way and a legal way as well. So we're working on that in the background. But anyway, being a therapist, I have to, of course, focus on the problem. And I'm very solution focused. So that's why I love talking about manifestation and all the universal laws, because when you know these things, it just makes life so much easier. So what I want you to think about is you're not going to try to get something. You're going to try to change your state internally. This is our first step. We want to make sure that we are calm, cool, and collected. We don't want to be all desperate and needy. That's not going to get us anything. We could look at that as that's resistance. So when you're desperate, needy, panicked, depressed, all these things, just think about, okay, that's resistance. That is the negative feeling, we could call it, the negative side of the stick. We want to be on the positive side of the stick. So also know that there is I think it's called the law of polarity. There's always polarity. So whenever you're feeling bad, there's got to be another side of the stick that's good. So always remember that you have the power to focus on either one. And you get to generate and create that from within yourself through thinking about something different. So it's really hard to do, people think, because when you're so practiced at thinking a certain way about yourself, you don't feel like there's another way to see yourself. And this is the number one problem that I've seen with people is at their core, they don't really like themselves very much. And that makes me so sad. And that has become kind of a core part of the work that I want to do, is make people learn how amazing they are, because I learned how amazing I am from doing the work. And it took me a long, long time. And I still have to, inject those positive affirmations into my head, into my noggin, because, the old story comes back. And the addiction to the old way of thinking comes back. I mean, it just sometimes does. We're human. We're going to have these things that pop up and make us feel a certain way, and it could take us back. Earlier today, I had a thought about the past, and I was like, and it brought me down for a second. I was like, wait a minute, I don't have to think about that. Because normally holiday time, sometimes I'll remember things that kind of happened over the years that weren't so good. And I love holiday time, but I also am sad during holiday time sometimes. And so I remembered this memory came up, and I was like, no. We don't have to think about that. We don't even have to worry about that. That's the past. We're living in the now. We're living in the now. So remember that. You're living in the now. You don't need to go back to the past. Don't worry about it. It's back there. We don't need to worry about it. There's no need for it. All you need to do is look at, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? Get to know yourself. That's the first step. Get to know yourself. Figure out what really bothers you and why, and what definition you attach to that, because it's from past programming. Remember that. It came from God knows what. Some of it might be logical. Some of it was illogical that happened. If you were abused, it's probably logical that your brain is going to go, yeah, I don't matter, because your needs didn't matter. Your needs didn't matter to the people who abused you, of course. But your dad, like I said before, as an example, your dad could have worked 5 days out of the week, and you attached a meaning to that to say, like, I must not be good enough because my dad is away all these days, instead of just like, oh, my dad's working to provide for us. So it depends on how what meaning you attach to these different thoughts that you're having, and these different events that happen. And those meanings are still bubbling up underneath you, and you don't realize it. And those turn into assumptions about the world that you're living in. So remember that as you shift internally, the way you see yourself, the way you feel about yourself, your assumptions about yourself will change, which will also change your external world. So if you're trying to fix something external from yourself, a person or something, an event, anything, it's futile effort. It will not work out very well. You can still, quote, manifest, but it's going to be a lot more difficult. Like, why do that? Keep it easy on yourself. Just keep it easy and go back to yourself. There's no one to change but self. Neville said, whatever, still says. He still echoes everywhere. There's no one to change but self. And I'll add, there's nothing to change but self either. There's nothing to worry about here. If you just stay in the now and you focus on yourself and you get to know yourself, just say, I'm getting to know myself. This is a muscle I'm developing. This is a skill I'm developing. Self. That's your skill, self. So you want to know, like, what triggers you and why? What meaning do you have assigned to that about yourself? Do you feel like you're not valuable? Do you feel like you're not important? I've had people say, like, I'll have them say, I am important. And they're like, I don't want to say that because I don't feel important, and I feel like I would be a snob, or I would think that I'm above people if I say I'm important. And I'm like, oh my God, those are assumptions. And really hear that. If somebody says that, that means they have an assumption from a long time ago, some definition that they put onto, like, if they saw somebody that might have had a good self-esteem, and they might have felt important, and this person attached some meaning to that was not a good thing. It's just like how people do, like with rich people, they think rich people are evil or whatever. Money is the root of all evil and all this stuff. It's like, those are all just assumptions that we've made up in our head. And so I encourage you to look at yourself and say, what have I made up about myself? What have I made up about the people around me? What if the things that I am assuming are true right now are not? And I've had to do this too. It's some work. And like they say in therapy, it's like layers of the onion, you just start peeling them off, and you're going to find that once you peel off some layers, there's like, you think you're done. You're like, I'm healed, I'm done, and there's nothing wrong here. And then the next day it's like, oh, there's another layer I forgot about. And it just kind of shows up. And it's okay though, because there's just going to be things that are just going to happen, and you just they're there to help you focus, I think. I think that's why that happens. It's like, it makes you deliberately focus. You notice what's happening, and you're like, okay, this is where the work comes in. This is where I tell myself I'm amazing. And this is where I tell myself a new story about myself and about the things that I'm thinking. What if what I'm thinking right now isn't true at all? What if I'm just assuming this? What else could I assume and put in its place? What am I making up? Really think about what you're just making up in your head. Like, really look at your life seriously, like the things that bother you. If you don't have trust for your partner, let's say, really think about that. Like, where does that come from? Is that a pattern that you have in other relationships? Or just trust in general is hard? And what I recommend for trust, if you have an issue with trust, is start trusting yourself first. A lot of the times we don't trust other people because we don't trust ourselves. And so again, change internally and you'll see a reflection of it outside of you. But a way to start trusting yourself is be very consistent with yourself. Show up for yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Show up for yourself. Stay consistent. Keep yourself accountable. And if you can't stay consistent, then find out why. What are the assumptions you have underneath not being consistent with yourself? What have you been doing? Have you been doing this your whole life where you just kind of stay stuck and you don't move forward because there's some underlying belief there about maybe if you become bigger, you're going to leave people behind, or people are going to think you're a snob because you start making all this money, and whatever the case is. There's so many things that go on and underneath the surface that we're just not realizing that we're thinking. So, and we have so many thoughts. We have 60 to 70,000 a day. Most of them, 90 to 95%, are the same exact thoughts that we thought yesterday. So just keep that in mind, that like you're never going to wrangle all these to the ground and kill them, but just figure out, what do I mostly think about myself during the day? And when certain events happen, what do I make that mean about myself? Because whatever you're believing about yourself is what is true for you. That's literally what you're going to be like, yeah, that's true, because this is what I know. So I highly encourage you to dig into yourself and say, what have I been thinking that maybe I'm just making up? What have I been thinking that is totally outdated and needs an upgrade? We got to level up here. This is where you come to level up my channel. This is where you come. Every day I want to speak from my heart. I really haven't scripted. Well, I've never scripted any of these videos. I've had like a small idea before I get on the camera, but most of the time I don't. I just talk, which sometimes it might be good and sometimes might not be good. I don't know, but I think it's working out so far. It's okay. But I love to speak from my heart, and it's helping me be more heart connected, I guess. And so I want to pass it on to you, that you can do that too. Like, go to your heart. Find out what your heart is trying to tell you about you, not what the world told you about you, because that stuff was just not true. And you just made it true. You didn't mean to. It just happened subconsciously. And so you want to program your subconscious mind with good things. And so that's why Neville's trick about just assuming that you're already the person that has it, and just assume it's already done. Just assume it. People are like, how do you assume something's done when it's not done? And you're already assuming things aren't done. And yes, it's true that you're seeing them undone currently, but you're assuming that they're undone because of what you're seeing. So basically you have to assume what is undone is actually done by believing in the unseen. And that's the hardest thing for humans to do. And so that's the practice. It's going into your mind and saying, no, this is true. This other thing isn't true. This is true because I'm deciding it's true. I started saying that to myself before too. I was like, nope, I'm going to be able to do this because I decided. I am this way because I decided. So I'm deciding now with conviction. Remember conviction, that word conviction, and it's a knowing. I know that this is who I am. I know this is what I already have. If I am this person, I already have this. We don't want to say, I want this. We want to say, I already have this. This is already who I am. And first you got to figure out what you want though. Get crystal clear on what you want. And then you're going to practice assuming that you already have it. And so you're going to think and feel and speak and walk and talk and whatever the case is, how you would if you already had what you're wanting. And Neville, again, goes back to state akin to sleep, SATS, where you practice assuming that you already are this person that has this, whatever this is for you. And you program your subconscious mind right before you go to sleep, and you're going to impress the subconscious mind with these thoughts. And you want to feel it as much as possible, feel that it's true. And I always go back to, we want something because we think we're going to feel better when we have it. So just feel better now. And what's crazy is you can always go back to that feeling. You're going to create a feeling, and then you're going to memorize that feeling. And then you're going to go back to that. And it's going to be literally a memory that you can go back to. So whenever you're feeling down, the more you practice this feeling and memorize this feeling, your body is going to feel it. You're generating all of these chemicals to go through your brain and body. So you're going to get almost addicted to that now, even though it might not have happened yet. And then it kind of overrides the old programming. And that's what we want to do. We want to teach the brain and body that it's in the future instead of in the current reality that we're in. So that's the trick. And so there's so many ways. I mean, I've been listening to other manifestation coaches on YouTube, and I just do research. I think everybody, like from what I've heard from every single person, I'm like, I'll hear somebody and I'm like, oh my God, that's gold. And then I hear another person, I'm like, oh my God, that's gold. And then I hear another person, it's the same thing, but everybody talks about it in different ways. It's so entertaining. Like there's some that are entertaining, some that are very straightforward, and very by the book. And some are in between. I'm a therapist. I come from it from a different perspective. And so I think everybody's doing a great job. And I think that whatever you believe and whoever you are attracted to listening to, just listen to them. Have fun. Like, don't just listen to one person. Listen to everybody if you want to, but don't let it overwhelm you. Just take the gems out of what everybody's teaching, because it's all basically the same thing. Ask, believe, receive. That's really all that it is. But we keep it so not simple. So keep it simple and have fun with it, because you're getting to, like, my favorite thing about what I've done is I've created this internal feeling that feels better than anything I've ever received or been through or anything. It's like, and that's what I want to teach people. It's like that if I could just bottle the feeling and give it to you, I would, but I want you to learn to create it yourself. It's self-love, it's passion, it's excitement. That's all I can say. It's just, and I created it on my own. I mean, years ago, I started doing this, and I would say this year, it probably solidified the most, and it feels so good. And I can go back to that feeling anytime I feel down or something's going on. I'm just like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? And I just kind of examine it for a second, and then I'm like, oh, I must have like gone back to that old feeling that was very much memorized, and there's no need to go there anymore. No need to talk about anything that's happened. Just, you can mention it for a second, and then, I mean, you really have to train yourself to not like overanalyze things, not go back there. Like, you don't want to go back there. It's dark and icky and dusty and dirty. We don't want to go back there. But you want to acknowledge the feelings that you're feeling about those things. It's not that you necessarily need to talk about it. It's just like with EMDR, when I do it with clients, technically you don't have to talk during EMDR at all. You don't have to say a word if you don't want to. But I have people bring up, a very disturbing event, and they say, then I say, what is that? What are the feelings and emotions associated with it? Where do you feel it in your body? How much does it disturb you on a scale of 0 to 10? And then there's an underlying core negative belief. That is what we want to get to. And that's associated with all the feelings in the body. And we just get everything involved. And then it kind of just, it dissipates like real quick. And the results are super quick. So it's amazing. But it's that negative core belief, I think, being paired with the body sensations. So that's why I encourage all of you to figure out, like, what are my negative core beliefs? And a lot of those, there's a whole list of them. You can Google it. I mean, there'll be a list of them, but some of them are like, I'm unworthy, I am bad, I am not valuable, I'm worthless, things like that. I'm unimportant, I don't matter, I'm unsafe, things like that could pop up. So you just want to be aware of that, because that negative core belief about yourself is running your entire life, and you just may not even know it. You may be like, oh, my life's great, but then there's like a couple areas that aren't so great, and that might be because there's this sneaky little belief, underneath the surface. And you deserve to feel great 100% of the time, not just 92% of the time or 85% of the time. You deserve to feel great 100% of the time. And you get to decide how often you feel great and how often you don't feel great. Like, you get to decide these things. That's the power of all of this. But practice the Neville Goddard sats at night. Practice that every night. Just think of a scene and like a movie scene, but you're in it. You're not watching it on a screen. You're actually like in it. You can like see everything from your own, perspective, your own body, your own eyes, and make up anything you want that's going to generate some sort of excitement and a great feeling in you. If it's a partner you want, pretend like you're in bed together and you can feel it. Money, talk to a couple friends and hug each other, and they're like, congratulations, oh my God, I can't believe you made $1 million this year, and the awards you won or whatever. Create these scenes where you're feeling super good. And yes, they haven't happened yet, but make your body and mind think that they did, your brain and body think that they did. Like, teach them to memorize those feelings. And you can go back to that any time you want to. And it's just a fun way to see what will happen. And I'll talk about some more Neville stuff too, like the ladder technique. That one's a really cool one. I'll talk about that another time. But just for now, just play this video over maybe if you need to. But it's just negative core beliefs and that negative programming that just isn't logical anymore. And you can replace it anytime you want to. And you can say, like, I'm awesome all day long. Like, you can decide who you are and who you want to be, and just be it. You just got to be it. And do not let, even though we're creating all of these things for a reason, like, do not let people bring you down to their energetic level. When you see something unfavorable, a person, people are huge, so we're just going to go with people, a specific person or just anyone. Do not go down and match their energy. You want to see what their energy is and use it as data, because that energy is reflecting something in you. So go back to love every time. Go back to love. Jesus said, turn the other cheek. They know not what they do. Well, technically, with the law of assumption, and if that person is reflecting your inner assumptions and inner beliefs, they're just mirroring you. So why be mad at the mirror? Just turn your other cheek, and because they know not what they do. I wonder if that's what that means. It's interesting. I don't know. But I think it's so good to come from compassion for people and love versus anger and resentment and bitterness, because you're just holding on to that, and it's only going to make you feel sick. So just practice this. And I'll let you go. I'm going to ramble and ramble and ramble. So I'm going to stop for the night. So you guys take care of yourselves, and remember, you are loved, and remember to appreciate yourselves, because what you appreciate appreciates. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.